Welcome to your first look presented by 6D Helmets. It is here. Yes, we're doing the show at the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. Jason Weigandt, Kellen Brauer here. Different infrastructure because we are now integrated into the MXGP program for MXON. Big thanks to 6D for the support. We just wrapped up opening ceremonies, Kellen. The atmosphere has totally died down, but about 20 minutes ago it was nuts.
It was so loud. Yeah. And man, I don't think I've seen quite that kind of level of enthusiasm from Eli Tomac as well. Like the USA guys were getting into it. Like they're like hanging out of the truck, and the fans are hanging into the truck at the same time as they roll by over here. You know, some people think, oh, it's a little bit lame, just roll by in a truck, but these fans were into it, and it's starting off the weekend pretty strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw Chase Sexton real quick at the end, and he's like, that's pretty much the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. And I even saw John Tomac smiling and pumped up. John Tomac smiling and pumped up. So we're going to show you footage of all this opening ceremony stuff. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the race. Okay, obviously Team USA, despite their struggles over the last 10 years of this event to win it, has to come in as the favorite, mainly because they have the home soil advantage. But the Sexton Tomac level at the end of the year, even MXGP people all day have been telling me, man, I don't know. They're at a very high level right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good case to be made that they're the two best 450 riders in the world right now, and we're missing, you know, some star talent from the GP class with no Hurlings, Febvre, Geyser. So you take those guys out of the top echelon of that group, and maybe it allows, you know, Sexton or Tomac to get more towards the front of the field a lot quicker, easier, whatever you want to say. But I mean, speed-wise, they have been so incredible in the second half of this year, pushing each other. And now they're going to push each other as teammates, too, which is kind of cool to see that dynamic play out as well. I think that they're right where they need to be.
Yeah, it's great to have a redemption round, if you want to call it that. 18 wasn't good at all. So we're here, got a lot of confidence in our team. Myself personally, yeah, it was a great year, both indoors and outdoors. So we're ready as ever.
Yeah, this is definitely a unique race, and for me being the first time on the team, battling Eli all year, we had that kind of relationship where we wanted to beat each other, and now we have the same goal, and that is to win this race. So it's definitely different. First time I've been in this position, but I think this weekend we'll be able to come together, and if we can ride how we were riding all summer, we should be in a good spot. Just got to focus on ourselves, and for me, like I said, this is my first time being here, so it can be a lot. So for me, I just got to keep my head on the goal, and yeah, pumped to be here at Red Bud. This is close to me, and like I said, I'm just excited to be here.
All right, so there are some thoughts from Team USA. This show is brought to you by 6D Helmets, dedicated to the relentless pursuit of brain protection. 6D's patented Omni-Directional Suspension technology provides protection capabilities unmatched by any other helmet design. Established in 2011, 6D is the technology leader in both motorcycle and bicycle helmet design. Now look, the team was not fast enough to win the last time we were at Red Bud in 2018. Their best moto finish was a 4th. They were never in it really at any time on Sunday. They looked better on Saturday, but in the end, we can have other things we can blame it on. The team didn't seem organized, didn't seem unified nearly as well as, say, the French team did. They have taken steps to rectify that. There are a lot of extra hands on Team USA, and they seem determined to fix those problems. The riders got to do their job, but the team seems better now.
Yeah, and honestly, all day today, I've seen them together. At no point was it like, hey, I'm going back to my team, and you're going back to your team or whatever. It's just one, you know, big kind of camaraderie, community effort, which is obviously, like you're saying, we've seen that from France. We've seen that from the Netherlands, where they stick together and they come up with plans and they actually work together. That seems to be what the USA is actually really trying to do this year.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff to make them work together, whereas these other teams don't always have the talent to pick from. Maybe they have 3 good riders, but if you have an injury or something like that, they've got to bring in backups, and they always seem to perform well anyway. So let's talk about some of those teams. First, the French team, maybe not their absolute best in terms of the form their riders are on, but they always invent a way to get it done. You got Dylan Ferrandis, who said in the press conference today he feels 100%. He feels as good as he did last year. I don't see how that's possible since he didn't even race at the end of the year because he's hurt. And Marvin Musquin didn't race all summer because Tom Viel, the MX2 world champ, wants to focus on Supercross for next year. But Maxime Renault is good, and it's France. They have that structure. They could still win.
100%. And I mean, if you take all of the extremities that you just said about that team aside, this is actually a very, very good team of talented riders. So if they all show up to play, I mean, anything is possible with that team. If Rannis is actually 100%, you know, he could win motos. So where they are at totally depends on, you know, how those guys are feeling. I think tomorrow will be a good indication of like, well, if Rannis starts up front, does he stay there? Like, if he gets a whole shot, is he actually healthy enough to last 20 minutes out front? We'll have to see tomorrow, but right now, I'm still questionable that he's 100% ready to go.
Yeah, 100% seems like a stretch. Now, Weigandt had podium speed in the 250 class at Fox Raceway just a few weeks ago, and you figure he's going to be a little fitter, and it's not going to be 106 degrees. That'll help him. I think Maxime Renault wants to win a moto or two this weekend and show the world what's up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that I think want to show, like, hey, American fans, look what I can do this weekend. And Renault is definitely one of those guys. He seems to be coming in, you know, with like kind of light shoulders, just like, you know, I'm about my business. I'm going to go and try to do what I can. And even was the team translator today. So, you know, having a good time and making sure that the team is staying pretty unified as well in that regards. I think he's going to do really good things this weekend.
Yeah, sure. Last time in Assen, I was still quite a young boy, you know, so first really big race for me, a lot of pressure and also a special race, I would say, really muddy and stuff, so we didn't have the best luck there with some problems mechanically, I would say, but this time for sure I'm better prepared. I'm another man, I would say, you know, I grew up and I learned a lot in my past years, especially last year with the title. This year my rookie season is 450, so it went very well. I had podiums, I won GP, so it was a great season. I feel really at home on that 450, so really ready to go on track and fight with the best in the world. You know, it's going to be a nice occasion to see how it goes. You know, with the US guy, the best guy in the US, so it's a very nice race for us.
Yeah, there's pressure, I think, on the American riders that the other teams don't have to face. They're expected to win here, and even if they finish on the podium, second or third, that's still considered a failure. There should be pressure on Team Australia because this could be their best chance to win. Do you think Jet Lawrence understands the pressure is? He laughed to the entire press conference, and then we saw some old photos of them joking around with Mitch Evans as kids. Yeah. It was hilarious.
I mean, the whole press conference for Australia was like, hey, remember when you guys were 12? Like, at no point was it like, can you guys win this race? How does it feel to be on a 450? It was just like, yeah, like, we're happy to be here. Yeah. Cool that we made it all this way. We're all on factory Hondas. Like, works out pretty well in the end. So clearly, it seems like the vibe is still pretty loose for Australia, which is a good thing, obviously, because you don't want that pressure to weigh on Jet or weigh on Mitch Evans. I think Hunter Lawrence will be fine, but, you know, I think those guys are setting themselves up in a good spot as well, where they're coming in and don't seem to feel like they're having as much pressure on their shoulders.
It's been pretty good. I mean, it's a whole new learning curve for me. The 450 is definitely such a different bike to the 250. It's a lot easier to set up. With the 450, you fix one thing, then another thing would come up. So it's been a little bit difficult, but it's been a fun learning curve for me. It's been trying to like learn how to ride it more as a 450 instead of like a 250. So it's been a fun experience, and like you said, first MX on. So it's been exciting. Hopefully we can put the Australian colours up there. So that's really good.
Okay, so a very relaxed atmosphere for Team Australia. Yeah, they just kept telling the story of we were nobodies. We weren't making any money, and now we're factory riders on Team Australia, so they're loving it. Another team to think about is the Dutch team. Now, they don't have Hurlings, as you mentioned, so I think that's leading people to think, well, they can't win this year, right? But they have three very good riders. Glenn Coldenhoff, who dominated this race in 2018, Calvin Vlanderen, who did win an MXGP race this year, and Kay DeWolf is one of these young MX2 riders that at any moment could have this magical day. And if you go out and win MX2, you've given your team a huge step forward. So I think the Dutch are the most underrated. I would not be surprised if they ended up winning, even without Hurlings.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a little bit more of an outside chance without Hurlings, but still very solid. I'll tell you, I walked over here by the pit lane here, and the first two corners are dug very deep, and the first person I thought of was Kay DeWolf, because I'm like, this is a guy that like stands up and he's super tall, and he just like will literally stand through all of these corners. But we know how good the Dutch riders are when you have soft, loamy dirt like this. I'm not saying there's sand out there right now, but they've clearly ripped this track pretty deep, and I think that will help favor the Netherlands a little bit out here.
I'm feeling good going in this weekend. I've been here last week, spending some time in Florida, did some training, and you know, feeling really strong. Obviously motivated, you know, especially last time here, you know, I have some good memories, and yeah, I'm looking to do well here.
A couple other teams to mention, Team GB, a very popular team at the very least. I keep joking, it's the 15th year they've had Tommy Searle, Dean Wilson, and Max Anstey on the team. It's actually not quite like that, but a little news here. Anstey's going to race at 250. And this is just the beginning, apparently.
Yeah, I guess he said that he's going to be on the 250 for World Supercross, which we kind of already knew. And then he says that he's going to carry it into Supercross in 2023 for them as well. So I'm surprised by that. I thought it was going to be him and another rider on that program in the 450 class next year, but I guess he's racing 250s. That's a little weird. What I loved about Great Britain is, aside from the USA, I would say the person that got the most hype, the most cheers, was Dean Wilson out here. There was fans just, Dino. He definitely is a bit of a fan favorite out here. And I think that's cool because for him, this may be his last pro motocross or motocross race ever that he's going to do. And to go out in style in the USA, where it's his second home and representing his country, is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, Dean even said that was one of his goals this year, to race for our Motocross of Nations Team GB one more time, so that's cool. Another team to think about is Team Spain. They have Jorge Prado, the whole shot master of the world. Do not be surprised if he gets his gas out front. But Ruben Fernandez on the team, and Guillaume Ferrez, who we didn't even know until about a month ago, and he got on a Star Yamaha, came to the Nationals and got 6th in a moto. They've got an outside shot. Win would be a stretch, but podium if things fell their way.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I think our question marks coming in were, is Guillaume Ferrez on a Star Yamaha? And sure enough, here he is on a Star Yamaha. So that is 3 factory riders, a factory gas, a factory Yamaha, and a factory Honda rider, all representing Team Spain. Very reputable talent. Like you said, Prado, he'll probably whole shot both of his motos. Let's see if he can maybe win both motos or do something like that. That definitely will help Spain's case, but a very solid team that will definitely make it in the top 5.
Yeah, first of all, I'm super happy to come here and represent my country. It's a race that I always like to come to, and this year, especially coming to Red Bull and this team, it's super exciting for us. Hopefully we can make a very good result out of it. And it was a very good, it was an okay season in MXGP, so hopefully we can do way better here. And going out to fight for the win, so that's my goal for the weekend.
Okay, the other news today, we highly anticipated a press conference from Triumph today with some news, but the only news actually was we're racing MX2 250 class in the GPs in 2024 and 450s in MXGP in 2025. They did not announce their American plans, and they said hopefully they'll have bikes on sale and production at the end of 2023 or early 2024. So they admitted it's taking longer than they wanted. We thought there might be a bike doing a demo this weekend. That's not happening. Beta has a prototype they're going to show this weekend that the fans can check out. They want to race motocross, I believe, in America soon. They've been doing it in MXGP. So that's just some of the off-track news, but the big story is the crowd and the weather. Chance of rain on Sunday, but it's a whole lot better. You were here in 2018, as was I. It's already better than that.
Oh, way better. I mean, I think that helped kind of the fan atmosphere today, too. Yeah. I mean, no one was standing in the mud all day long and didn't want to be out here. Yeah. Everybody was stoked to be here, and the riders echoed the sentiment as well in the press conferences. A lot of just like, thank God it's not raining because we want to see what real Red Bud is about, and we're going to get it this weekend.
Yep, part 2. Let's see if it's better than the first, the sequel. Thanks to 6D Helmets. We'll see you throughout the weekend.